Satnam, I wanted to pop on here and talk about the Magdalene course that is starting tomorrow. And I wanted to do this before we get going in it so that we don't waste the time we can be experiencing the magic. So Magdalene became a big part of my life when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And at that point, she was definitely seemed like a human woman, and I was going through a lot in my childhood. And so she came at the perfect time to kind of shelter me through that. Fast forward into my young adulthood. Eventually, Magdalene would be perceived as this geometric diamond, emerald green diamond with a creamy white nucleus that was shooting out these golden rays. At that time, in my late 20s, I found this woman channeling her, and I looked her up, and I looked up her book, and I ordered it. And this book came, and when I flipped it over, there was this geometric that she says is how she perceived Magdalene. It was one of those winks from the universe. I needed that confirmation, like, am I crazy, or is this really a guide, and is this really happening? So I wanted you to know this, and then she stays in my life, and she's teaching me all these things, pointing me the directions, getting me into Kundalini yoga. And after about 6 months of doing Kundalini yoga, I did this raindrop therapy. So raindrop therapy is where they put oils on your spine and they feather it out, and it's very transformative. And a lot of times you'll have visions. Well, I said to them, because I was having all these flashes of Magdalene, Yeshua, but I didn't really know, what is this adding up to? So I went to this raindrop therapy, and in it, I saw, and I asked her to do the holy oils like spikenard, myrrh, frankincense, sandalwood. So in this, I had this incredible, clear, pretty long, it felt like a long vision, where I was watching this scene, and there was Magdalene and Yeshua going up this path, and then sets of 12 women, 12 men, 12 women, 12 men, 144 all together, sitting around them. And Yeshua was teaching kind of in parables and wisdom like he kind of always does. And then he kind of handed it over to her, and she taught this breathwork, which is the Tower of Light breathwork that we do in the Tower of Light. And we're going to be using in the Magdalene course starting Thursday, February 1st. So I was like, enamored by this. And so they did this breath work in this vision, and then they all lay down, and then he continues to deliver wisdom and healing and upgrades, but they are now in this altered state because of the breath work, and it is changing them more rapidly. And so Magdalene was like, this is what you're going to start teaching. So 1 month later, this is in 2012, I do the first Tower of Light. And I just wanted to kind of give you the background on that, because when this came into my life, I mean, sure, there was breath workers and obviously there's breath in yoga, but breath was not like it is now. Like, it seems like there's so many different courses and certifications, and everyone's doing it. I just thought, oh my God, how amazing that in 2012, right? 12 years ago, she's like, you need to start teaching this. And this is because what happens in the Tower of Light is we do this breath work, and then you lay down, and then she comes through and delivers wisdom and healing, but you're in this altered, open state that you can take it in more. So in the course, we are going to be doing 3 things, actually 4 things every time we're together. We are going to be working with the Gospel of Mary and understanding these gates of the ego. We're going to do this massive healing on the gates so that the soul can have more liberation and more power in our lives. We're going to be tuning in with a very sacred way. It's like aum, aum. Well, I'll show you it when we're together. Instead of Angamo, it's really not a Kundalini thing. We're really going the Magdalene way. So we're going to tune in with this mantra. We're going to be using the Tower of Light, right? And then she's going to unfold the healing that is based on the 2 gates that we'll be studying each week. And then the last thing is we're going to be using a chant that was chanted in the ancient times by the Rosicrucians. They are kind of an offshoot of the Cathars, and the Cathars were this beautiful spiritual group that believed in Magdalene and Yeshua together. They had a much evolved way of being. They didn't even call themselves Christians. Christians, Jesus isn't a Christian. He's a master. And they just put him in that box. So we're going to use this chant that evolved out of these amazing, beautiful people that were holding on to the truth of Magdalene and Yeshua and their wisdom together. So I just wanted to get this all out and all up front for you so that when it's time on Thursday at 5:30, we're really just going to dive into the work and we're going to go for it. So that's why I popped on. I love you so much. Hey, Annie, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Mwah. Love to everybody and Sat Nam.